Hey, it's your boy Jose from Big Meat Sports. How you guys doing on this wonderful Martin Luther King Day? Sorry it's coming out a little bit later than usual, but we're getting it done. I got JC, my co-host, with us.
Up,
Hopefully,
everybody?
hopefully Jason Duncan can join us in a little bit, but we'll see if he joins us. I know he was a little bit busy trying to get the other co-hosts involved. But with that being said, we're gonna go over these past playoff games this weekend. There's some exciting games. There's some non-exciting games, and well, let's talk about it. So, JC, my first game I want to talk about is the Bills and Ravens. What do you think about that game?
Man, if it tells you anything, it's that the Bills are for real. I've been saying it for a while now. Defensively, they're top notch. Offense has been carrying them the whole season. Josh Allen is on a mission. Stephon Diggs, All Pro this year, he's on a mission. They have a great coach in Sean McDermott, who most likely will be Coach of the Year.
Mhm.
But yeah, they did a great job of shutting down Lamar Jackson. Obviously, he went out in the third quarter with a concussion. Um, it wasn't a high scoring game. Lamar Jackson, I thought they were going to come right back. He made that mistake of throwing that pick six in their own red zone.
Yeah,
That
crucial.
ended up killing them. It's just unfortunate. I wanted to see the Ravens pull off the win, but I'm excited for the Bills, man. They're playing great. And they may just go to the Super Bowl if Mahomes ain't playing this weekend, because ain't no way Chad Henne's going to pull off that win.
But my thing is, I feel like the Bills, the offense hasn't been scoring as much points as they have during the regular season. Is
Mhm.
that just, do you think it's just the offense not clicking right now, or you think it's just playoff time and,
Yeah.
the play calling gets a little bit shorter and it's not as, not taking as many chances as you want to,
They're seeing better defenses. It's a different ball game when you play in the playoffs. I mean, look at Tampa. They were swept by New Orleans in the season.
Mhm.
I didn't think it was going to happen for a third time. Tampa's just on it right now, defensively as well too. Although they didn't look that great against Washington, but Washington has improved.
Mhm.
So they played a better team. But yeah, you're going to see different style of football in the playoffs, much more intense. It's obviously do or die, win or go home. So these teams are on it. So I
Yeah.
think it's just a result of better defenses.
Yeah, and I think one thing with Josh Allen is, his legs can, help him extend the play. I mean, every time I see him roll out, I think he's gonna run, and then you throws a laser beam for like 20 or 30 yards, and I don't know how you stop that right there.
I don't know either.
It's you gotta. To me, it's you're doubling Diggs, and then he's like another weapon that you have to focus on,
Yeah.
and it's very very hard. And you just gotta hope that hopefully Josh Allen has one of those bad games and throwing games, and you can keep him contained. But as of now, I don't think nobody has done that as of yet. But we'll see. And the next game is versus the Chiefs, and we'll see if Mahomes can play that game. I'm hope they're wishing that he can't go that game, so it can be a little bit easier game. But if knowing the Bills, they probably want him because you want to go, you want to play the best and beat
Yeah.
the best.
I think they
Uh,
have a chance to beat them with Mahomes.
yeah,
The Bills, Buffalo's on another planet right now. I know
yeah.
they wanted that other home game. I know they were pulling for Cleveland to win that game, but I hope Mahomes play. He's one of my favorite players. I would love to see him duke it out,
Hmm.
because although both of their defenses have improved in the playoffs and they're playing better, I would love to see a shootout, and I think it would be.
And I would want to say shout out to Bills Mafia to donating to Lamar Jackson's charity
Yep.
after that big hit. I mean, Bills Mafia, it's one of those fan bases that you kind of when you're like a Dolphins or a Cowboys fan base, kind of like idolize because like they're so together. Their
Yeah.
tailgating and everything they do, and just they're them donating, and they have done it in the past. So shout out to Bill Mafia on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, just to speak on Bills Mafia real quick. I've always hated the Jets. Obviously, I hate, as a Dolphins fan, I hate the Bills. But it's easier to root for the Bills than it is for the Patriots, obviously, and the Jets.
Yeah.
because of their fan base. They're not as obnoxious. They're very passionate. And the Bills haven't won anything in over 20 years, and their stadium is always sold out, is always
Yeah.
packed. I mean, granted, ain't much to do in Buffalo,
Yeah.
but their fans are amazing. And when they started Bills Mafia 9, 10 years ago,
Mhm.
all they've been doing is donating to charities and helping people out. So I have tons of respect for them. I actually tweeted that out yesterday on their page after I heard the news about the Lamar Jackson charity. And
Mhm.
I just, I said, you guys are always solid. As a Dolphins fan, I dislike the Bills, but the fans, it's really hard to dislike them. So shout out to them and good luck to them.
Yeah, shout out to Bills Mafia. So next game I want to talk about is Chiefs versus Browns. Now, to me, before the Mahomes injury, I knew that this was going to start off a slow game for the Kansas City Chiefs just because they didn't play week 17 and they had the bye week. And I knew it was I if I was a betting man, I would say that Browns probably would have been up or probably would have been tied at the halftime, and you saw it with the Chiefs, started off slow, but then the Mahomes injury and the Browns almost pulled it out. I mean, it was that one turnover at the I think it was in the third quarter where when Honey Badger knocked out the ball
Intercepted
with
it.
the
Yeah.
no knocked out the
Oh,
ball
the
when the guy was
fumble?
trying the fumble out of the
Oh,
end
okay,
zone.
okay. Okay. Yeah,
Man,
yeah, yeah.
what a
Oh,
turning
yeah, yeah,
point!
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what that, yeah.
What a
Okay.
turning point in that
The
game.
interception was later.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
So
what a turning
like,
point. Yeah.
did you have faith in the Browns like everybody else did, or did you know it was going to be a close game?
I don't have faith in the Browns. I think Baker Mayfield is getting better. He's a solid QB, but I just don't trust him right now. And they're missing a lot of their weapons offensively and defensively. Myles Garrett was dealing with an injury, or he looked exhausted. He kept coming in and out of the lineup. The only real spark that they had was obviously Chubb. He was running the hell out of that ball.
Yeah,
And Jarvis Landry, who's always a passionate player, but I'm at this
beast.
point right now where I just don't trust Baker Mayfield. And
Yeah,
I knew deep down that the Chiefs would pull it off, even when Mahomes went down. All Chad Henne had to do was manage the game and be his good
and
old check down Chad.
and he almost didn't do that because he lofted one up there with that interception,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
like, oh, what are you doing, Chad? This do the game plan. I didn't. He must have not seen the safety because how he threw
Mhm.
that ball was just like a lollipop. But Chad Henne got it done, and I kind of knew it when it was fourth and inches. I kind of knew that they were going to go to that play because I think they did it versus the Dolphins, the exact same
They
play where
did.
they had
Yep.
where it had Tyreek Hill in the slot and it just ran him to the side, and you can't. That's very very
It's
hard to
very hard
guard
to defend.
because if you
Where
go
they
after
messed
him,
up was that 3rd and 15
yeah,
that they let Chad Henne almost convert.
yeah,
But they made up all that yardage. If he would have stopped them at 3rd and 10 or 4th and 10 or something like that, you're looking at them punting the ball. But because you gave them all those yards, they went
yeah.
ahead and went for it. Andy
That
Reid is aggressive though. I love him as a coach.
Yeah, but I'm hoping Patrick Mahomes is good and can play for the AFC Championship game. It didn't look that bad when it happened, but you never know all the hits throughout the games and the severity of the hit because I didn't see his helmet go into the ground that much. But
His helmet
when
did go into the ground, but just not as hard. I think.
yeah,
I honestly didn't think it was a concussion when I first saw it. I thought he just got his wind knocked out because of the
uh,
way that he was grabbed by his neck. Um, but that I didn't think it
hopefully
was that
it's just like
serious.
one of those mild ones that he can get over and we could see a good championship game when them playing the Bills. But
Mhm.
man, that it will be a bummer to not see
Yeah.
Mahomes and facing the Bills. The next game I want to talk about, the battle of the two old guys, the you know uh, Tom Brady and Drew Brees. I mean, I thought I was watching the History Channel, watching them, go out there and
Yeah.
sling it. But the only one that looked, old was Drew Brees because Tom Brady looks solid, as always. And it's postseason Tom again, going out there and giving them a W with a 30-20 win. What'd you think about that game?
Yeah, no, I thought it was a great game. They were both going, back and forth in the first 3 quarters. But Drew Brees, I mean, I think he can still get it done. but you can tell his arm is giving out on him already. He doesn't
Yeah.
have that same zip on his throws anymore. Tom Brady, I seriously don't know what the hell he's doing.
Yeah.
I know he has that whole TB12 system that he lives by,
I might
with
have
the
to jump on
diet
that.
and the exercising. And it really shows he takes care of his body, having avocado ice cream and stuff like that.
That's
Like,
nasty.
um, but he's super invested. And after all these years, man, he threw for 40 touchdowns. That's insane.
Yeah, that's crazy.
At his age, but I'm happy for him because he's proving that he could do it without Belichick, and Belichick proved otherwise that he could not. So,
But I think it's easier for Tom just because of all the weapons that he does
well,
have.
yeah, he is.
I mean, you got Mike Evans, Godwin, AB. I mean, running the ball, Leonard Fournette,
Gronkowski.
Gronkowski. I
They
mean,
lost
he
OJ
has,
Howard too.
yeah, you have so many weapons. Breeze, I mean, he just has Michael Thomas, which Michael Thomas is 0 catches yesterday. I've never seen 0 catches from Michael Thomas. And they're just making fun of him, Mr. Slant receiver, Mr. Slant, and all the other memes I've seen today. But yeah, Breeze just didn't have any help. And you can see the arm fluttering. I think it's easier for Tom because Tom uses his legs, and he has his arm is just gifted. With Breeze being so short and has to torque his body so much, I mean, it's just you can see his arm is giving out. It's just years past it was just more of his pinpoint passing, but that has faded
Yeah, he
away
was very
also.
accurate.
Yeah, that has faded away, and it kind of sucks. I think Drew Brees is going to retire. I know they said he's going to be mulling the decision,
No,
but I
he's
think
done. The
he's
way
going to
the
be.
way he
Yeah,
looked back at that stadium when he walked out the tunnel,
yeah,
he's walking into the tunnel. I
yeah,
think that right there told everybody that'll be it for him.
yeah. And Drew Brees has done so much for New Orleans and who that nation that
Should have been a
it's
Miami Dolphin.
yeah, it should have
Or was it?
been.
It
Yeah.
wasn't for Nick Saban.
That's the year that you guys got Culpepper, right? Instead
I'll
of him.
never forget. We chose Culpepper over Drew Brees, and then he
Oh,
came
man.
down here and won a Super Bowl in our home stadium.
Damn, that sucks.
Yeah.
But shout out to Who That Nation. You guys, it sucks for the past 3 or 4 seasons. Making it, you've been 1 seeds, 2 seeds, making it to the playoffs, and just getting beat in ways that I can't even explain. With the Minnesota Miracle getting beat on that last second play,
Or that non-call.
versus the Rams, a non-call, and now Drew Brees with throwing all these interceptions and turning the ball over. So it sucks for Who That Nation, but congratulations to Tampa. Moving on to the NFC Championship
Yeah, I'm excited
game.
for him, man. They're our Florida neighbors.
Yeah,
I'm definitely going to be rooting for them. I don't know what it is with Green Bay, man. As good as they are, I just can't stand them. They're just not that exciting to me. I think it's going to be a good game. I hope Tampa Bay pulls it off and hosts the Super Bowl in their home stadium.
yeah,
That'd be pretty cool.
And talking about Green Bay, that's the next game that we're coming to is Green Bay versus Rams. Green Bay looked dominating, 32-18. Man, that man, Aaron Rodgers. What can I say? This guy is just. I mean, when he's on, he is on. There's the first. I think it was the first drive of the game where they could have had a touchdown. His receivers were dropping the ball, but I knew what kind of game it was going to be because those were pinpoint passes that his receivers dropped the ball in the first series. But after that, it was just he was on, and they had the running game going as well. So it was like pick your poison. Even though Aaron Donald wasn't there, he only played 50% of the snaps. Do you think Aaron Donald would have made a difference, or you think Green Bay was just running on all cylinders?
Yeah, Aaron Donald could only do so much. He's a force to be reckoned with, but he can only do so much. Obviously, he's always going to be a difference maker no matter what, no matter who's on the field, no matter who they're playing against. But hey, look, shout out to the Rams, man. They no one thought they were going to get this far, especially late in the season, where they were losing all those close games and they almost missed the playoffs. Jared Goff got hurt. They were playing with a backup, and he came back in, and they played with pride. They ended up losing, but It's what most teams do when you play the Packers, especially this year. But yeah, I didn't think the Rams had a chance in that game, especially playing in the frozen tundra.
Yeah.
So I'm
And
hoping it snows this week. And what I love about Tom Brady playing up there is that it doesn't phase him. He's used to
yeah,
playing in the cold weather.
he's used to playing in that cold weather, and you know that it's to me, I see more of a defensive game. This coming
And
NFC
Tampa Bay
Championship.
defense, man, they're pretty good.
Yeah, they are pretty
That
good.
Devin White kid, I haven't watched him play a lot, but man, he was all over the field.
Yeah, and the corners. I mean, to even though Michael Thomas is not that, I'll say he's a top 5 receiver, but he's no Devontae Adams. So I want to see how those Tampa Bay corners match up with Devontae Adams because, I mean, Devontae Adams. I mean, he put Ramsey in the blender on one of those it was like a slant route. Ramsey thought he was going to the outside and took a slant route and got.
He's one of the best. He's one of the best route running receivers I've ever seen play.
Man, and then just to top it off with, one of the best route runners, but he doesn't have to get that much separation because Aaron Rodgers just puts it right on the money almost every time. So, and when Aaron Rodgers is on, it's on. So it's gonna be an interesting game. This coming what is it, Sunday? I believe it's on Sunday, correct?
I haven't seen the schedule.
Yeah, I believe it's on
both
Sunday.
of them on Sunday. Both of them.
Yeah, both of them I believe on Sunday. I just don't know which one's going first, but
they're both going to be great games.
Yeah, Tom versus what's his name?
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers. Tom versus Aaron Rodgers. All right.
And Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes.
And
hopefully, if Mahomes plays.
Hopefully, Mahomes.
He'll be in the concussion protocol. It just all depends on how he progresses. So we'll see.
I know a lot of sports bettors out there.
Definitely don't want to see Chad Henne out there.
Yeah, because that's just giving the Bills the AFC Championship game.
Oh yeah.
So that's it for the NFL talk. All right. Now we are gonna go to the NBA talk, and I know we haven't talked about the NBA, me and you, for a while now. So let's just get it started with your Lakers. Your Lakers are looking like they're going to go back to back. Defensive, offensive. I mean, what can you say? I don't see any weak links right now in your team. LeBron is just playing on I don't even think that, I won't even say at an ultimate level right now. LeBron is playing just his style of basketball.
He's
sharing
having
the ball.
fun.
Yeah, having fun, sharing the ball. He's not getting those 30, 40-point games. He's getting those 25, 10 rebounds, 9, 8 assists, sharing the ball. And your Lakers are looking dominant.
Yeah.
What
LeBron, to me, LeBron is just at a point in his career where he's just having fun and he's trying to bring the best out of everyone. He has his 4 rings. I think he'd be fine with that, but obviously he wants more, knowing that he could have it now with AD and his supporting cast. But ever since last year, man, and those guys, the chemistry they've been building, and you saw we lost a few key guys, and it's been the same chemistry. It's been the same, the same culture that we've had around the past couple of years. It hasn't changed anything, and we're actually playing better. I'm just extremely excited, man, because we're on a roll right now, and I get it. We're going to have our ups and downs, and that's to come. Hopefully we stay injury free, knock on wood. But I love the additions of Schroeder and Harrell. They're bringing tremendous energy, some energy that we were probably lacking last year. Markieff Morris, coming off the bench. Kyle Kuzma's been decent. We haven't had to depend on him much. But yeah, no, I really love what we're doing right now. And Marc Gasol, was what we like to call him, the fossil. He's been doing his job too. Whether it be playing, defensively or hitting those shots when it called upon. So it's just been a lot of fun, a lot of excitement. Obviously, regular season is regular season. We'll know what they really are when we get to the playoffs. But I'm just enjoying it right now. I'm extremely excited.
It looks like the Lakers are having fun out there, tossing the ball around. I mean, I don't think you guys had a couple close games, but most of the games I see, Lakers are up by 15 or 20 and they're just dominating. And,
and there's some games where we'll be down. We'll be down. We've been down before, but I mean, I'm just confident in them having, they're to me, not just because I'm a Lakers fan, but I think they're one of the most well-adjusted teams in the NBA where they adjust to the pace to what's going on with the other team. Offensively, defensively, they just adjust better than everyone, especially
Now,
in a series.
who do you see the possible threat in the West to the Lakers?
I would say Denver or I mean the Clippers. The
Okay.
Clippers have been doing pretty well as of late. They've been playing
Yeah,
pretty well.
they have, and
But
Kawhi has
Paul
been.
George is a seasoned player. I mean,
Yeah.
he
Yeah,
doesn't he
playoff
doesn't they don't scare me like they did last year. Last year I wasn't scared, but I was
concern.
worried. I was
Yeah.
worried. Yeah, I was concerned. Because one of the reasons being Montrezl Harrell.
Yeah.
He was one guy that we could not stop each time we played him. Now he's on our squad. So I don't think any of the additions that they made are really significant. They have a new coach, new system, but they seem to be, clicking here and there. Paul George is playing out of his mind right now. So that's cool. But I'm confident that our team can take care of him in a series.
Yeah. Well, at least one team from the NBA Finals is doing well this season. Let's talk about my Miami Heat.
You guys will be
It's
fine.
it's been a rough start so far. We're losing one, we're winning one. It's just
No consistency.
no consistency at all. Then we got hit with the COVID, and we had the one first game versus Philadelphia. We only had 8 players to play in the game. We almost pulled it off with
And
Tyler
you almost
Hero.
pulled it off. Yeah.
Tyler Hero, going off on
Stepped
them.
up when he needed to.
But towards the end, I mean, he had a late crucial turnover that gave him a 3 to tie the game, and it kind of sucks. But right now, what I'm seeing from the Heat is it's worrisome because I said it before, but the defensive wise, James Crowder, losing him was going to be a big loss for us.
He's with
I
Phoenix
thought,
now, right?
Yeah, he's with Phoenix. And I thought it was going to be a big loss, and it looks like it's starting to look that way because in defensive wise, we can't stop anybody. I mean, we're letting Washington without Bradley Beal and Westbrook almost beat us. I mean, it came off to granted we had an 18 to 20 point lead, but they came back on us, and it ended up to a 6-point win, I believe, 4 to 6 point win at the end. So defensive wise, that's where I'm kind of questioning because what starting lineup are we gonna see? They wanted when they put Olynyk, I think they wanted to see more offense towards the beginning of the games, and you see it. But when you have Olynyk in there, you compromise on defense. So right now my Heat are worrying me, and they're supposed to play at 3:00. And the game
Playing
went
tonight,
to
right?
it's at 8
Detroit.
p.m. But my question to you is, and I asked this on my last podcast, is the NBA doing a good job with their protocols and trusting in the players, or would you like to see a bubble happen, like a 4-city bubble, and having the players not leave and seeing the best talent out there? Because I feel like almost every other day there's a game that's being postponed because contact tracing or somebody has COVID, and then these teams still want to play with the minimum of 8 players, but you're putting out that talent out there that's not as good and possible losing. Like, look, to put this way, 70 Heat versus 76ers. If Heat don't play those 2 games, then and postpone it towards the later part of the season, then I would have liked that. But now, what happens if the Heat don't get it right and we're vying for an 8 seed and those 2 games matter right there and we didn't have our top players? So what do you think? Do you like it what it is now as an NBA trusting in the players, or is there cause of concern and you might want to see a 4-city bubble?
No, there is cause for concern because there's a lot of games being postponed, a lot of players being taken out, and not being able to play, and then that's a disadvantage for your team if it's your team that's being affected. Obviously, it hasn't affected my team yet, so I don't really have an issue with it. But
Hmm.
obviously, league wide, we saw how successful the bubble was in Orlando,
Hmm.
with being restrictive with players. I don't think they were a huge fan of it because they were, you know, away from their families for so long. But you also saw the best basketball that we had seen in a long time with no crowd, very minimal people there. I'm always a fan of the bubble if it's absolutely necessary, but I'm also of the mind that, hey, this virus is out there. We're going to have to get adjusted anyway, and people are just going to have to be responsible. I do like the four-city bubble. Hadn't heard that one before. Anything that can resemble what they did down in Orlando would obviously be great for the league, for the fans, knowing that they're going to have an equal shot because everyone will be out there and playing. But you're also going to have that issue where players may not want to go back to a bubble and they may opt out, and you don't want that as well because we
Yeah,
had a lot of players opt out before. So
but I felt like
it's tricky.
I felt like even though the players opt out, it was not, not a lot of the big name players. Hey, what's up, Justin? It was not a lot of the big name players in that opted out, but it was still good basketball, good content.
Yeah.
But like with the Heat the other day, you had Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Goran Dragic, none out, Andre Iguodala. You had so many people out, and it was like what the Heat put out there, and the Heat are gonna fight to the end, and they're not one of those teams to lay down. But it's one of those games that, hey, Miles Leonard and Kelly, I think you might want to say that you're injured on this one, so we don't have the minimum players, so we can postpone this.
Yeah.
But that's not Eric Spoelstra's type of mentality. But yeah, it's to me, and I'm not trying to make excuses. Again, the before we got hit with this COVID, our defense was sucking, and offense was shaky here and there. There's one quarter they'll score 14 or 15 points, and there's another quarter they'll score 40 points. So it's very inconsistent. But it's to me, I would like to see a bubble. Do some more not knowing that there's going to be games and no postponement because
Yeah. No, I'm a fan of that as well.
yeah. But I just want to talk about a surprising team, which is not really a surprise, all right, with all the talent that they have. But man, if there's a team other than Miami Heat now that can, probably take down the Lakers, man, the Nets signing James Harden. What do you think?
Possibly
How do you
take
think
down the Lakers. Come on, man.
how do you think that
They haven't
they
played a
match
game.
up with you?
Those three guys have not played a game together, and you already got people like Greeny's dumbass on ESPN,
Yeah,
um, saying that they're an actual team just because he's a Net fan, and he's a
yeah.
Jets fan, and he's all those. He's from up there. He has the audacity the day that James Harden gets traded, or the day after that, they're gonna have a legitimate shot at competing with the Lakers. I don't buy it because it's going to take time for them to build their chemistry. This guy was traded during the season. He's an in-season trade. He's an in-season acquisition.
Mhm.
Now you expect him to build this chemistry through this same season he was traded in and take it all the way to the playoffs and beat a team that's been together. We only had a few losses.
Yeah.
You expect them to beat us in a 7-game series? Get the hell out of here. I honestly, am not a fan of it. Obviously, I'm happy for James Harden because he wanted to be out. He wanted to get out of there, and you can obviously see that he's excited. Um, but I I would have to see them play together.
Yeah.
Obviously, him and KD went off the other night.
Oof. One scored
But
40, another one scored 30, and it was
yeah,
still a close game.
when
though.
they play teams like the Bucks, when they play teams that have firepower, whether it be Philly. I mean, Philly's playing pretty well now. The Lakers, the Clippers, Dallas, Denver. When they play teams that have firepower, that's when I'm gonna be really interested to see how they respond with defense. Because initially, when that trade went down, I was like, I don't think they're gonna have a shot. They don't have enough role players. They don't have a bench. Neither one of these guys, maybe for the exception of KD, occasionally, none of them play defense. And you have
But-
two ball dominant guards.
That's what I was saying.
So it's
Who's the
gonna be
point guard?
interesting.
Who's,
I don't know.
Who's the point
I'm
guard?
assuming Kyrie will be. I mean,
Uh-huh.
he's a natural point guard. I think James Harden can play the two, and obviously KD at the 3 or the 4 or whatever they decide to play him in. But I don't think they have enough depth for them to go and compete with a Milwaukee, with a Los Angeles.
And they
So
had
I don't
depth.
know.
They had depth, but they got rid of Levert, the big shot blocker also. I mean, to me, it's going to be
They still have
interesting.
Dinwiddie, Spencer
Uh,
Dinwiddie.
yeah, but I think he's hurt. I believe
Okay.
he's out for the season. Yeah,
Either
he's
way, I
out
don't
for.
think they have enough.
Yeah, he's out for the season. But scoring wise, I know that they're going to score. Defensive wise, that's another thing. But with Kyrie, I mean, you don't know when he's going to be gone. I mean, this guy is just in his own world. A lot of people say, look, you got James Harden, just trade Kyrie away because it's just wasting money. But we'll see how they mesh because that KD can mesh with two other All Stars because he's done that in Golden State with Clay and Curry. I don't know how James Harden or Kyrie are going to do that with having two other people that can score like that.
Mm-hmm.
To me, yes, Kyrie had LeBron, but it was just LeBron. And when LeBron went out, Kyrie did his thing. All right.
Mm-hmm.
James Harden, he's dominant all the time, and he's to
Not
me,
all
I
the
think
time.
it'll
He
be a
hasn't
little
been
bit
dominant
more.
this season.
Yeah, well, I'll say last season, but he can set people up. He likes to drive and pick his poison. But when when he's not taking up all those shots, now when KD has the ball and throws it to James Harden and he's only put up 7 shots in the game, how we're gonna see that happen? Is he gonna be cold? Is he gonna be hot? We'll see. I mean, it's
Yeah, I
going to be
mean, look,
interesting.
I think yeah, it is going to be interesting. But who they play? The Magic,
They
Orlando
played,
Magic.
yeah, the Atlanta Magic, yeah.
Yeah, when they start playing the better, the top tier teams, and I still think Miami is, although they're having some early struggles. When Miami's full force, and everybody's playing, I think they're going to struggle with teams that have creative strategy and defensive teams, that don't have many stars on them. Miami being one of them, Milwaukee obviously being one of them. I think Toronto's going to give them some hell. I think you look at the teams in the West. Obviously, the West is stacked right now when it comes to these teams. But I don't know. I'm not believing the hype right now. I'd have to see to believe. It's one of those things where I'd have to see them play together, and I just don't think. I think both of them, Harden and Kyrie, are head cases. Although Harden may be happier now.
And he trimmed that body fat quick
That
as
was
hell.
crazy. Yeah, I don't know. That was crazy. Some people say he walked to Brooklyn from Houston, but
Oh,
I don't know, man. We'll see. It's exciting. It'll be cool. But I still don't think they have a shot, at least for right now, against the Lakers.
Yeah.
I mean, who's going to guard AD?
Well,
DeAndre Jordan?
Oh no, you said who? No, who's going to guard LeBron? You mean?
No, who's going to guard? No, my first option was Anthony Davis. He's our best
Oh,
player.
AD. I was thinking about KD. My bad.
Yeah, who's going to guard? Who's going to guard AD?
Okay, yeah.
You got no one coming off the bench. Kyrie can't play on Schroeder. He's not a good defensive player. And then you could say the same. Schroeder's a better defender than he is, but Kyrie's hard to stop. He's one of the best.
You guys have a lot of
best
matchup
going in. So
yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see, man.
I see KD covering LeBron,
That's okay.
DeAndre Jordan on AD. I mean,
You're gonna have to double him sometimes,
yeah,
and you're gonna leave KCP wide open half the time, which he's a knockdown shooter. He can hit threes. Now KCP
he can hit
shoot, man.
He can shoot. He's gotten. Look, I'll say this. He's gotten better. The start of last season, he was not that. Yeah, I wouldn't say that he was as good of a shooter as he has a 3-point shooter as he is now, because he knew as his role progressed last season that he had to knock down those threes, and I think he practiced a lot, and he was, at the end, a knockdown 3-point shooter, and it's just continued to be a knockdown 3-point shooter. So I got to give it up to him. He's been working in the lab. So
anything's better than Danny Green.
Yeah,
he's struggling right now in Philly too, boy.
Hey, no, but he the one game he wanted to go off was on the Heat, and he hit 9 3-pointers. I was like,
holy crap!
I was like, bro, can we get the playoff Danny Green to miss a few?
Yeah.
But
we'll see. It's gonna be exciting. It'll be an exciting year.
Yeah,
But I would say don't worry about Miami. They've always been a better second half team. You see it year in and year out. So I think I still have a lot of faith in them.
yeah, it's just been crazy because our seventh loss of the season uh, came last year after we were 19-7, and
Yeah.
now we're 4-7, 4-8. So it's to me, it's because I think I'm more concerned because of how the games are stacked upon each other, and it's very minimal like leeway of look, the playoffs is going to come, and I don't think it's what a 50 or 60 game season, so it's not your full.
Yeah, six. Was it 68
Yeah, so
games?
it's not your full, as I don't know if you can hear the ice cream man in the
I
background.
hear him.
But
Yo, you wanna end it right now so you can
yeah,
go get,
I need to end it right now. Go get me a hot sausage and pick a leg. Woo!
yo, for real. We got a screwball. Granizado.
No, but that's all the time we have for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the page, and hit that bell notification so anytime we do put up a video, you guys are notified. And we'll be back next week. Hopefully, Duncan, I guess, wasn't able to come on, but we will be having him on. Hopefully, we can get together because the one chip challenge. All right, I got it.
Yes,
We're gonna
we gotta
film
do
it,
that.
guys. So hopefully we all can get together and be in one room.
We will. We will. We all
do
have to
it.
be together for
Yeah,
that.
we got to be together.
I can't have Duncan. You give him the one chip and then he switches it out for like a hot Cheeto or something.
Yeah.
We need proof.
Yeah. So yeah, it's your boy Jose and JC from Big Meat Sports, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you guys.